Welcome to this explainer. Today we're doing something a little different. We're holding up a mirror. We're going to dive into a fascinating, fully data-driven study that actually tracked 5 different people across 5 completely different income brackets living in a major Indian city. Now they all woke up under the exact same sky on a totally ordinary Tuesday. No holidays, no special festivals, just a regular Tuesday. And the goal here? To look right past our assumptions and feelings and figure out what money actually buys at each stage of life.
But before we get to our 5 earners, let's kick things off by busting a massive myth. If you walk into a seminar at a fancy 5-star hotel and ask the crowd, hey, who here is middle class? I guarantee almost everyone raises their hand. People sitting there wearing gold chains and diamond rings genuinely believe they represent the middle of the country. But as we're about to see, the hard data tells a brutally different story.
Get this, the statistical reality is absolutely staggering. If you take India's 1.4 billion population and find the absolute middle, the true median, that person earns just 10 to 11,000 rupees a month. That is the actual statistical middle-class reality in India, and it completely shatters the illusion of what the typical middle-class lifestyle looks like in our collective imagination.
Look at how wild this income distribution actually is. The average employed person earns around 21,900 rupees. But here's the crazy part. Simply earning 30,000 rupees a month catapults you straight into the top 10% of the entire country. And if you want to break into that ultra-exclusive top 1%, you need to earn about 2.5 lakh rupees a month.
Section 1. The 12,000 rupee earner, surviving the daily grind.
Let's step into the shoes of our first earner. Remember, statistically speaking, this is the real middle class. Their Tuesday doesn't peacefully begin at 6 a.m. It starts at 4:30 a.m. And their entire daily budget is a mere 400 rupees. Every single rupee here is meticulously allocated just for survival. They're paying 100 to 200 rupees just to rent a single bed in a shared room. Their 3 daily meals cost about 85 to 90 rupees total, and we're not talking organic protein-rich food here. It's basic carbs just to stop the hunger. 130 rupee Swiggy order? Literally impossible. They rely entirely on buses or just walking, spending maybe 10 to 20 rupees because the minimum auto fare of 26 rupees is totally out of the question. If it rains or if the bus breaks down, they are completely exposed.
Section 2. The 30,000 rupee earner, entering the top 10%.
Okay, congratulations, this earner made it into the top 10% of the country. They get to upgrade to a shared 2-person room and maybe a monthly tiffin service. Now, you'd think being in the top 10% offers some real security, right? But it's kind of an illusion. The data shows that 75% of earners in this exact bracket have absolutely zero emergency fund. Zero. And 29% admit they completely run out of money by the 15th of the month. They are living fiercely paycheck to paycheck, highly vulnerable to crushing credit card debt the absolute second they try to upgrade their lifestyle.
Section 3. The 80,000 rupee earner, buying time.
Things shift pretty drastically right here. This earner finally escapes shared housing for their very own 1 BHK apartment. But honestly, more importantly, this is the bracket where you stop using money just to survive and you start using it to buy back your own time. They are among the rare 1% of Indians who can actually sit back, drink their morning tea, and watch someone else prepare their breakfast. By dropping 3,000 to 4,000 rupees on a cook and another few thousand on someone to clean and do laundry, they reclaim literal hours of their day. They also reclaim their commute, often upgrading to an entry-level car or a bike.
But don't let the hired help and the comfortable morning routine fool you, because underneath this glossy surface, the data is genuinely alarming. 60% of these 80K earners are actively in debt. 40% lack a sufficient emergency fund, and a terrifying 75% are either heavily underinsured or carry no health insurance at all. One bad medical bill can literally wipe out their entire facade of comfort.
Section 4. The 2,000 rupee emergency test.
Picture this. It's 4 p.m. on that totally ordinary Tuesday, and a sudden 2,000 rupee emergency strikes, say a shattered phone screen or a cracked tooth. Look at how this exact same 2,000 rupee bill impacts our earners. For the 12,000 rupee earner, 2,000 rupees is 5 full days of wages. It's catastrophic. They have to call their village, beg relatives for a loan, or borrow from a local moneylender, instantly entering a vicious debt trap. But for the 80,000 rupee earner, it's less than a single day's pay. They do a quick UPI swipe, and frankly, they've completely forgotten about it by 5 p.m.
And caught right in the middle is our 30,000 rupee earner. That 2,000 rupee hit represents 2 full days of income.
Now, they don't have to beg relatives for cash, but they do have to absorb the shock using a credit card, and it often means they have to pause their mutual fund SIPs or savings for that month. They're forced to sacrifice their future just to survive a present bump in the road.
Section 5. The 1%. Inside the wealth bubble.
All right, let's zoom all the way up to the absolute top of the pyramid, the 3 lakh and 30 lakh per month earners, where reality fundamentally distorts. At the 3 lakh level, they're spending up to 1 lakh just on rent in premium neighborhoods, dropping another $50,000 on a full staff, including drivers and nannies, and they're sending their kids to expensive international schools. Then you have the 30 lakh earner, who operates in a completely different stratosphere. They aren't renting anymore. They live in 2 to 5 crore rupee homes with EMIs of up to 5 lakhs a month. They spend 1.5 lakhs just on salaries for their extensive staff. They live entirely insulated in gated communities, totally and utterly disconnected from the daily friction the rest of the country faces.
But here's the mind-blowing part. Wealth doesn't automatically equal financial wisdom. Shockingly, even inside this highly privileged bubble, 65% of earners in that 3 lakh bracket are so caught up in extreme lifestyle inflation that they haven't actually planned for their retirement. They have no idea how they're going to sustain this massive burn rate on the inevitable day their income finally stops.
So, the crucial point of contrast between all these brackets is how the human brain actually processes money. For the 12,000 and 30,000 rupee earners, a 10 rupee difference is a highly calculated stressful expense. But for the 30 lakh earner, their rounding error is literally 1,000 rupees. If a restaurant bill is 1,300 rupees, their brain just registers it as 1,500. They don't even mentally process the difference. It just doesn't matter.
Section 6. The evolution of wealth. What money actually buys.
Let's pull all this together. What is the actual core utility of money? Because it doesn't just buy stuff, it fundamentally changes your relationship with reality itself. Moving from 12K to 30K, you buy basic comfort. Taking an auto ride in the rain instead of walking, a safer room. From 30K to 80K, you buy time, paying others to cook and clean so you don't have to. From 80K to 3 lakh, you buy distance, retreating into gated communities with 24/7 power, completely insulated from India's daily struggles. And finally, beyond 3 lakhs, you buy ultimate options, the freedom to decide exactly where you live, who you work with, and how you spend every single hour of your day.
So out of all these brackets we just walked through, find which one your Tuesday looks like. And as you plan out your financial future, I really want to leave you with this one vital question. When you finally reach that next step up the wealth ladder, are you actually buying your freedom? Or are you just using your new income to build yourself a much more expensive cage? Think about that until next time.